Afternoon, YouTube. Atheist Chef here. Now, what I want to talk about today is something that just happened this morning slash afternoon from a YouTube user, PreachinShawn, that messaged me. He asked me about Google Plus Hangout. If you notice on any time I'm Google Hangout with G-Man or whatever, you have what's called that little bar that goes across the bottom. It has my name, the Atheist Chef, and a little subtitle. That's called the lower third. And in my message, in my reply to him, I had said, "Oh, I don't know if I should help you out because, you believe differently from me." And of course, I said it in a way to make sure that I was kidding. And then he replied, "Yes, thank you. I would understand if you didn't want to help me. While I never heard your testimony about how you were saved, your kindness here leads me to believe that you have been." Now, I take a bit of offense to that. Now, of course, this guy seems nice. Don't take me wrong, and I don't mean to blast the guy for this, but to say that my kindness was a byproduct of my salvation, or a one-point salvation, or whatever how you want to put this, I completely disagree with. I mean, for myself personally, I was always kind and whatnot ever since before I was a Christian. Now, I was a Christian about the time when I was about 11 or so, but my parents, particularly my mom, had raised me better, had raised me to be good, had raised me to be kind, raised me to share, and and not be a jerk to people. And even now that I'm an atheist, still kind, still everything, nothing really has changed except I don't have God in somewhere in my biography. So it kind of irks me because there's people that still believe that for some reason that Christianity is the sign for kindness, and that unless you're a Christian you're not kind or good to people, and that just doesn't make any sense. So I went to his channel because I wanted to learn more about the guy. Again, he didn't seem mean or anything like that, so I was just curious about him to learn more about him. And he actually messaged me in that same reply a video link to his my deconversion from atheism video. Now, when I hear my deconversion from atheism, I get this bullshit alarm that goes off in my head. Not because I think the guy's lying, but because when I hear that, it's generally because people don't have the proper definition to atheism, or like they're the Kirk Camerons of the world. I was a devout atheist. I hated God. It's people like that my bullshit meter goes off, right? So let's look at the video, and this is basically the first minute or so, and it talks about his earlier life before he got saved. So let's play that and see if you can spot some of the identifying factors of his lack of atheism, for lack of a better phrase.
I was raised in a home with Christian parents and was taken to different congregations for the first 5 years of my life and baptized before I made a conscious decision to submit to God. At that point, my parents divorced after 16 and a half years of marriage. At that point, I and my 3 sisters were given into my dad's custody, where he stopped attending congregations, did not pray with us, and did not read the Bible with us. Because of this, I grew up just ignoring God and living without Him.
Ignoring God and living without Him. That is not atheism. That is an accepting of His existence, but just basically going about your life and doing whatever you want. Again, not atheism.
I gradually began to deny God's existence, probably because I did not like the idea of being under anyone's authority. Living apart from God made me my own God and standard of right and wrong.
None of the things that I hear in your videos, Shawn, are anything remotely close to what atheism actually is. You sound nothing like it. You actually accept and acknowledge the existence of God, but you ignored it. You said that you didn't want to be under his thumb, that you wanted to do things your own way. That is not atheism. Atheism is simply not believing in God. That's it. So we can see this in your video. You were never an atheist. You were brought up in church. You knew God, or at least heard of him, and you never didn't believe in him. You just chose to ignore him. And you say you denied his existence, but in the same breath you say because you didn't want to be ruled under his thumb. That's not denying his existence. That's denying his rule. It's denying his control. So you were never an atheist. But don't get me wrong. Am I disappointed that you're a Christian? No, but you obviously have made a change, a good change, from the things that you did that led you to prison to where you are now. So that's great, and I give you kudos for that. But you cannot make a claim that it was your atheism that was the root of your doing bad things that led you to prison. Obviously, it wasn't your atheism. It was either by a lack of good parenting. I mean, no offense to your dad or anything like that, but I mean, obviously, it's one of the only few sources that there possibly could be, because we know it's not atheism, because there's plenty of good atheists that are doing really good things, and there's plenty of Christians that are still able to do bad things. So you can't link your philosophy that you once had on your atheism. It's a completely different source altogether. So I think you would be doing us all, including yourself, a great favor as to not claim it was your atheism that led you to doing the bad things that you once did. It propagates a distrust towards atheism, and makes people assume that only Christians or religious people can do good things. And it's obviously not the case.